For those of you who don't know, The Walking Dead is one of the most popular hit TV series in existence today. According to IMDb, the show is about Sheriff Deputy Rick Grimes, who wakes up from a coma to learn that the world is in ruins and must lead a group of survivors to stay alive. So today, we're looking at The Walking Dead and what it would really look like without computer-generated imagery, or CGI. You do not want to miss this list. First up, we'll take you on a behind-the-scenes look at The Walking Dead. This hit series first aired back in 2010 and became an instant fan favorite. It was the first time the viewers had ever seen such frightening zombies on television. Up until 2010, crazy-looking zombies like the ones you see in The Walking Dead were really only seen in Hollywood blockbusters. One of the key ingredients in the show's secret sauce is the makeup, special effects, and CGI that happens behind the scenes. There's a specialized team working hard around the clock to create the ghoulish creatures that you see in each episode. And contrary to what some may think, it's a tremendous undertaking. But after all the hair, makeup, prosthetics, blood, and latex work that goes onto the actors' bodies, one of the most challenging tasks is using the application of CGI. For those responsible for CGI work, it can mean hundreds and even thousands of hours of painstaking, intensive computer work. Of course, as we mentioned, this all happens far behind the scenes, and so most of the viewing public have no idea that it's even taking place. Next up, we'll take a look at specific examples of how CGI makes this show so incredible. The first example we'll look at is Shiva the tiger. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, then you already know who Shiva is. But for those who don't know, Shiva is the character Ezekiel's pet tiger. Ezekiel, played by actor Carrie Payton, is the leader of the kingdom, and Shiva is his closest companion. Ezekiel rescued Shiva from a zoo when the zombie apocalypse first began. Shiva was a very loyal and fierce soldier who helped Ezekiel in numerous violent engagements with zombies. The production team could have saved a great deal of money if they used a real tiger, but with the safety of cast and crew members in mind, the team opted for a CGI tiger instead, at an even greater expense. But the truth about the magic behind the terrifying feline warrior is actually quite funny. Shiva is played by a stuntman named Scott Hunter, who wears what is referred to as a blue mocap suit. So whenever you see Shiva ripping someone apart, remember that it's really just a friendly and funny guy named Scott. So without the assistance of CGI, all you would really see is, well, Scott. Up next, we'll look at how much it actually costs to consistently crank out episodes with high-end special effects. This may come as a shock, but each episode of The Walking Dead is extremely expensive. The cost of each episode has ranged from $2,750,000 to as high as $3.4 million. Much of the budget has gone to actors' salaries, but a portion of the budget is reserved specifically for the show's computer-generated imagery team. Initially, back in 2010, this portion of the budget allocated to the CGI team was quite small. However, after some complaints from fans regarding some shabby special effects, the production team started to allocate a greater share of the budget to CGI. Next up, we'll discuss some of the absolutely crazy behind-the-scenes secrets of this smash hit series. It's astonishing how such a terrifying show has so many hilarious secrets behind the scenes. For instance, every time you see a zombie scarfing down some human flesh, they're actually devouring pickled ham. It's rumored that many of the actors playing zombies would show up on set with empty stomachs if they had to shoot flesh-eating scenes, because they knew that it was pickled ham day. It's also reported that not everyone liked eating the pickled ham all the time, but at the end of the day, having the opportunity to play a zombie in one of the coolest series on television outweighed their annoyances. And after all, every job does have its drawbacks, right? So what's a little pickled ham? Up next, we'll look at what it took for actors to be able to play the mindless, flesh-eating zombies that you see on screen. Do you think you've got what it takes to play a zombie in a film or TV show? Well, here's what it took for the actors to be able to play the gory creatures that you love so much. Each actor wishing to play a zombie on the show was obligated to undergo training at The Walking Dead's very own zombie school. You may think we're joking, but we're dead serious. No pun intended. The rationale for this requirement is actually quite simple and can be boiled down to a single word: uniformity. The creator of the show, Frank Darabont, who famously wrote one of the greatest screenplays in history, The Shawshank Redemption, 1994, insisted on uniformity among the actors. Frank needed to make sure that all of the zombies acted and sounded the same. It's reported that while in zombie school, all of the actors were instructed to walk and groan in the same manner, and taught how to attack the camera. Apparently, one of the tips given to the actors was to pretend as though they were walking while intoxicated. Next up, we'll take a look at how CGI helped to add authenticity to the show's zombies. When we die, our eyes stop blinking. When we're alive, the human eye blinks up to 20 times per minute. So an obvious challenge for the cast and crew was how to stop the actors playing zombies from blinking. And because it's humanly impossible for actors not to blink during shooting, the actors were not requested to stop blinking. Instead, it was decided that the blinking would be removed using CGI in post-production. While this may seem like a small, insignificant detail, it's actually quite a big deal in terms of authenticity. If you take a second to think about it, zombies blinking would be really strange and wouldn't make any sense at all considering they have zero brain activity. The CGI cost to fix this little detail was actually huge and took the CGI team hundreds of hours to complete. And of course, this needed to be done for each episode. So the takeaway here is that without the use of CGI, the show wouldn't be nearly as authentic as it is. Up next, some crazy behind-the-scenes legal troubles that you probably didn't know about. For tax credit reasons, The Walking Dead is shot in the great state of Georgia, USA, and police departments in Georgia are no different than other departments across America, so when it comes to potential threats, they certainly don't mess around. So naturally, when you have several scary-looking people running around with automatic weapons, there's always the possibility that some residents may become concerned and not realize what is happening. During the show's very first season, veteran actor Michael Rooker, who played the character Merle Dixon, was perched atop a rooftop of a building with a rifle when some local residents became concerned. As a result, an entire SWAT team responded and showed up on set. After a few tense moments, the SWAT team realized that a film was being shot and communicated that to worried residents. Actor Lauren Cohan, who played the character Maggie Reed, was pulled over while driving home after a long day of shooting, completely drenched in fake blood. The officer who pulled Cohan over was reportedly very concerned for her well-being and was happy to know that the blood was fake. Next up, we'll take a look at more clever uses of CGI in this hit show. The Walking Dead employs a considerable amount of CGI. We've talked about the use of CGI for Shiva the tiger and zombie eye blinking, but the show's CGI team has also used CGI masterfully to create sets. For example, you all know the junkyard that is often behind the character Rick. Well, that backdrop is actually 100% CGI. To the trained eye, it may seem obvious, but to the millions of fans with untrained eyes, it may be hard to tell. Many folks may not realize, but for a film or television crew to pack up all of their gear and move to a different location, it's actually a very big deal and can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So sometimes, from a budgetary standpoint, it makes perfect sense to employ the use of some good CGI. Finally, we'll discuss how the production team creates the horrifying and ghoulish sounds of The Walking Dead. Everyone knows the terrifying sounds that hungry zombies make as they moan and groan their way towards humans. On set, however, the actors playing the zombies aren't making a sound. In fact, the production team has always instructed the actors playing the zombies to remain perfectly quiet. There are a number of reasons for this. One, having hundreds of people making bizarre and scary sounds could drown out the dialogue of actors with principal roles. And two, each of the zombie actors would have to be fitted with microphones, and a simple cough or sneeze would halt production and force the crew to do another take. The third reason is uniformity. With hundreds of actors playing zombies, each of their moaning and groaning sounds would be distinct and unique. That would again create authenticity issues. So for these reasons, the production team adds in the frightening zombie sound effects during the post-production process. Thank you for listening and watching. Please click like and subscribe to our channel. More exciting and informative videos are on the way.